Hey, what's going on? This is KLA Cloud the Wanderer, and my guest tonight, well, this evening is Monica Johnson. How you been?
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. I've been tuning in with you for a while. I seen you with all the Ray George Page interview and stuff,
Oh,
and
great.
we can't yeah. Then we met a little bit on the panel and stuff. So yeah.
Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah, yeah, no problem. I learned about you. You're a veteran of the military.
I'm sorry?
You're a veteran of the
Oh,
military.
I am. Yes, of the Navy,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Okay. How long you been doing? How long you was doing that?
About 10 years.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's actually where I got funny story. When I was That's where I started working out was I was in the Navy. And when I was stationed in Japan, the gym there was shutting down and opening up a new one and said, "Hey, do you want any of the weights here?" Because I was there every day, and I said, "Yeah, I'll take all your dumbbells." And they gave me most of their dumbbells, and I had them shipped back from Japan to the United States. I still have them, but I also when I was in the Navy, there on a ship, the my shipmates that worked on the ship with me, they worked on a crane and taking material to the submarine next to us and stole some of the materials, some brass, and made me my
Hmm,
first set of dumbbells. I still have them.
okay.
So
Wow.
that's kind of an interesting start. But yeah, that's kind of neat.
Wow. And then when did you started competing?
I really started competing 9 years ago, so it was quite a bit of time had elapsed since the military. Um, had to take care of my drinking issue and my smoking issue. I
Hmm,
quit that 15 years ago and started up with weight training. Just started getting, oh, I'd been in shape. Um, I first saw Rachel McLish when I was in school and fell in love with her, fell in love with her physique, and told myself, I want that. And it always was in the back of my mind. But until I got settled here in Arizona, did I actually put that together. Um, your kids are grown and they're gone, and you have some extra time. And so I started collecting weight equipment and
that's cool.
just doing what I can. So I've
Yeah,
been competing nine
yeah.
years.
That's good. That's good. You had do you have like a favorite show that you competed
Um,
during
my
your
most recent
competition?
my most recent show was the North American there in Pittsburgh. I finished second, and third. I had entered four classes, but there that the real hard part of this to grasp is a lot of women don't want to be in bodybuilding or physique. Um,
Yeah.
I I started out with figure, and I was really stuck between. I knew I wanted to be bigger. The high heels, kicking off the high heels, really puts you in a different class. You even get treated a little different from the other girls. Um, but thank God I did kick off my heels because what a pain. Um, but yeah, the North American, I did the bodybuilding and the physique, and I looked my best. I looked very good. I was proud of what I brought to the stage, so that would have to be my all time favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. I couldn't like looking at your pictures, I couldn't really tell if you was women physique or women's bodybuilding because you don't look
Both.
too big. Oh, okay, both. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I cross over because you never know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
The girl that beat me also did bodybuilding and physique, and she so I got second in both. So I'm on that line between. They tell you what they're looking for, but it changes every time. Um,
Yeah.
so I try to get my pro card, so I enter both.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
But I have never been told by the head judge that you're too small for this class or you're too big for this class. Walking off the stage, the last thing I was told was you need a bigger back. And I came back to that show with a bigger back, and that judge was not there.
Mm.
So
Oh, that kind of sucks.
yeah, yeah, it really does suck because I wore the same suit and everything. Going, picture memory would connect everything, and yeah, that um, my conditioning was above and beyond everybody on the stage. I held my pose. I got my pose. I held it. I never shook. I never changed. I never dropped. My trainer Wendy Grack, who's pro, she helped me with that conditioning to get me that way. She's great. My poses were dead on. I held them. Um, my glutes look better than everybody's on stage for my age. I'm not telling you that, but I have competed in the 40-year-old and above. So the 40, 45, 50, 55. So yeah, I'm very proud of the way I looked, the way she got me there. So who knows what they're looking for? You never know. It
Yeah, I
changes.
mean, you have a nice physique. I mean,
Thank you.
I'm sorry that you got to go through that. Yeah, that kind of. I don't know what
Hey,
to
we all
say.
do.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I
Yeah,
know. I'm not a bodybuilder. Just by me
yeah.
looking at you, it's. I'm not a judge, but you do look nice.
Thank
And
you.
so
I should have had my pro card last couple shows. I should have. The audience sure thinks so. They weren't happy
yeah,
at all with the judge's decision. But I know what I look like up there, and I go for myself. And it's taken me this long to realize that everything changes. You even take the fit model. Well, this is what they're looking for, and this is what they're supposed to be wearing, but that's not. Um, that's not. You see it every show; it changes. So I guess you reach that stage in competing that now it's me. I'm gonna go up there looking the way I want to. If I want traps, even though they don't want them, I'm gonna get traps. If I want um, not a skinny waist, that's okay. I'll show what I have. But it's about me, and that's you get to that age and that many years competing that it gets more enjoyable when you feel that way. Um,
yeah, yeah. I remember I asked you something pertaining about like why do you still do it? Like what makes you want to compete and stuff?
um,
Because
make myself better. Gave up two addictions, so got to have something. And
yeah,
it's good therapy. It's a lot of us there. It's a good therapy. I went through the Navy 10 years, going out, going to bars, drinking, partying. Got really bad shape. Really bad shape. Had seizures.
mm,
And one day I looked in the mirror and I said, "I'm done. I'm done." I quit drinking, quit smoking that day. Moved to Arizona. My husband and I did, and never looked back. I, I, you know, I don't talk about my addiction much, but I don't think about it every day.
yeah,
5 years ago, I lost my son. If that didn't make me drink, nothing will make me drink. He
yeah,
was in the Air Force. So we're, I'm from a military family. My husband, my son, myself. Um, so yeah, it's about me, the drive. I'm stubborn. I'm determined. I always want to make myself better, and body dysmorphia.
yeah, yeah,
That's what we all have. But
yeah.
but yeah, it's
Uh,
it's great therapy.
yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your son. That ain't really nothing to that sucks. So
Oh, that is very hard.
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, cause I could understand the addiction, just trying to get away from that pain, and so I do understand that.
Yeah,
So
it changes you.
yeah,
It
yeah.
does.
I don't have kids, but I could imagine, if I did,
Mhm.
all the way George Page. Hey, Monica, how's the ball? How's the bees?
Oh, ugh, my wrist is really fat. I had a removal yesterday. My husband and I did, and I got stung about 10 times on my wrist.
You
So
got
yeah,
bees?
yeah,
You have a bees
we're
collection?
beekeepers. Yeah,
Oh,
we're
okay.
beekeepers, and we rescue bees. Well, here in Arizona, they're Africanized bees, so they're known as killer bees.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, if you get stung a couple hundred times, it might kill you, but it also depends on if you have an allergy. It's really it's good for the environment. It's good for, I mean, we depend on them, and it's real funny because everyone you see backstage, they're eating the honey. They got their
yeah,
honey, their peanut butter, their rice cakes, and I see them with that teddy bear honey, thinking, man, if they know the shit they're putting in their body, that's really corn syrup. So when we rescue the bees, I sell the honey, and it's raw
mm,
honey. So and of course it never never expires. It's actually the only food that's sustainable. A person could live on honey alone.
yeah.
And yeah, so yeah,
One
it's pretty neat.
one thing I know
My
about
favorite.
the African bees, they could chase you like on miles away.
Yeah,
So I know. I'm like, ugh. I
yeah,
remember one time I got no, we got cut off for some reason. I
yeah, we
remember I
did.
got stung by a wasp one time. Yeah, that I didn't really like
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah,
that.
they continue to sting you. A bee stings you, she dies.
Mm,
The male bees do not sting. They're bigger. They're about the size of a honeybee. But all most bees are female bees. They're the workers. They do everything. They haul away dead bees. They haul home drunk bees that get drunk off the nectar. So yeah, it's very very interesting, and it's hard for me to do sometimes because I don't want to consume a lot of the honey while I'm prepping and going through this, but it's the best sweetener to use because it's natural. And I run so much honey and I taste every bit of it. It's almost like being a wine connoisseur. So I do that with honey. I can tell where the bee has gathered it from. Very interesting, but so it's hard to do sometimes when I can't eat a whole tablespoon.
okay.
But
When you first started, like, how was your first preparing for your first show? Like,
oh, I wasn't really. I don't think I was dedicated to it. Your first show, you don't really know. I think everyone will say that. The more you compete, the more you realize the prep is important. To eat exactly what your diet is, to not have that cookie. Um, and then, of course, after the show, all the food you eat after it goes on for a day or two or a week. And the more you compete, the less length of time that is that I call it gorge yourself, really. Um, to celebrate and eat, go out for a hamburger or something. Over the years, you stop that. You're like, this is detrimental to what I'm going to achieve after the show. To not go out and do all that. To be smart about it. So yeah, the first prep was very difficult. I was excited. I was nervous. I thought I looked great. Now I look back and it's like, well, I look pretty bad. but uh,
mm,
but it's all memorable. The thing I try to do is when I compete, try to make it enjoyable. Stay a couple days after, get to meet a lot of people, take in wherever you're at. I really enjoy the traveling. I do.
was
The
your husband
competing
there?
is, yeah. He always goes with me. He's my best cheerleader.
That's
Um,
cool.
but yeah, he's supportive of it. It's it's hard for him a lot of times to be on the back burner. I get up first thing in the morning. You know, got to do my cardio, want to do my workout because the day you get busy and you can't get that done. I get very, very crabby, very bitchy, but everybody knows that. All my friends know that. My family know that. They're even traveling to see my mom. She's like, "Well, what can you eat? Do I need to get a bunch of eggs?" You know. So everyone knows, everyone's very considerate, um, and everyone's very supportive.
Yeah.
But they know my
What?
personality. You know, it's an addictive
Yeah,
personality. So once I've got my eyes set on something, there's no stopping me.
yeah. What's your advice to somebody that's into female bodybuilders and they want to have a relationship with them?
Oh, you better just let them do what they want to do, because I don't think it's very wise to you know, this is my sanity. I've been through a lot. This is my sanity, and there's a very fine line of anyone crossing that. So
Yeah,
we all have what's important in our life. We have family, we have spouses, we have our children. But when it's your sanity and it's everything to you, sometimes um, you put it number one, and not everyone's happy about that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you have to have someone very supportive, very understanding. Um, there's a lot of changes. There's a lot of food. He works out here at home. I have my own equipment. My goal was to open up my own studio um, after I got my pro card. So it's taken a little longer than I thought. But so he works out here, and it's not where he just sits back and says, "Okay, you do your thing, I'm going to do my thing." But it is that way. He has his sport, I have my sport, and we don't intertwine them, but we respect each other's. So I think
yeah,
it's I see couples working out together, and that's great. I love to see that at the gym. Not always do they both look real happy about it, but I think it helps to have someone
yeah,
very supportive. I really do.
yeah. Yeah, I noticed that, I hear stories about, some couples don't really make it, especially if the
Yeah.
spouse is doing bodybuilding, especially if it's a woman that's competing and the guy is not a bodybuilder, and I hear a lot of stories like that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure I hear a lot of them
um,
too, because you're around a lot of people with not a lot of clothes on. So,
right,
and you're checking people out. When I
yeah,
first got involved with this, I remember the one thing I was told was, you're going to question your sexuality because you're going to be looking at women a lot. Well, because you're admiring them. Everyone is working on their own piece of art. It's their body, whether male or female, and so we look at people with respect, with adoration. Um, this person has really worked hard. This person is working hard. So um, I can see where a lot of spouses are like, well, sitting around watching, all the classes and stuff. Um,
hmm,
but my husband doesn't. He doesn't care to watch all the bikini classes and all the classes. He won't watch the men's classes. He'll watch mine, and then we'll go. So that's
yeah,
understandable.
yeah. Is there other like divisions that you pay attention to outside of women's bodybuilding or women's physique? Do you like bikini or I don't know?
Mm. No, no, I no. I mean,
Yeah,
I do respect. There are some wellness girls that I just flat out am in awe about. Um, I don't know their national. I think they're Russian.
yeah,
She was up there, and she they flat out told her, you've got too big of legs. So you're too big. And she said, I don't care. I'm gonna be as big as I want to. I love her. I love her attitude, because she's insane looking. She's just beautiful. Just the muscle structure. So I really respect the wellness. But there's a hell of a lot of work that goes in with physique and bodybuilding. Um,
yeah,
I was doing figure a while back, and a gal beat me because I was doing figure and physique, because I didn't know where I fit. I knew what I wanted. Um, I lost by one place, the pro card, and the gal that won it was huge. So we're all like, huh, oh, forget that. Um, I met with her again a couple years after that show, and she goes, "Oh, I was told I shouldn't have gotten that pro card because I was too big for the class." I'm like, "Don't tell me that." And I questioned her. I said, "Why?" When she won, I said, "What are you doing in figure? You're huge. You should be in physique or bodybuilding." She goes, "I'm too scared to do a routine." Oh my God. But
Mm.
okay, that just floored me because yeah, she took it, but she was too big for that class.
Yeah, I be hearing that. I be hearing
So
stories like what the some people are too big for their division, and yeah,
well, and it's really disheartening because each class has each category has the requirements of what you look like. So I'm not real clear if somebody can win a pro card in the physique and then win it in the bodybuilding in the same show. What are they looking for? And that was my frustration with the Pittsburgh with the North American was I finished second behind the same girl um, that got her pro
mm,
card in both classes. Um, but then again, I got second. So what were they looking for? You know, yeah. So
yeah.
it's a gamble.
What makes you want to keep doing it? Like to it because it's frustrating. Just even the way you telling me it, it's like
because
because
I'm
I
because I'm
picture
stubborn.
myself if I was like a bodybuilder, if I was bodybuilding and I'm going through all that, I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna just I better off just working
Yeah,
out and stuff in the gym and stuff. I don't know, man.
yeah.
Because I've done competitions, you know, and I remember I did like an art competition, and I didn't. They would always place me on it. They would place me. I never got placed, but they would give me something about you're better. You could compete next year, and I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to keep doing that, because I got like little I was like, what's the sense of doing that? Because it was like twice I was competing in this, and I didn't like my placement with it. So I'm like looking at it, at that lens, like and that's just anything. Like if just giving me a hard time, and I'm trying to do it, I don't know. Like I just
Yeah.
it's not
That
like you not want to be a quitter, but it's like you're doing the best you can do, and I don't know.
well, the audience didn't like my placing. They didn't.
Yeah,
They made it very clear they didn't like my placing. Um, but besides being stubborn, I'm not going away.
yeah,
It's like I get second, I get second, I get second, I get second, I get second. So hope they're tired of seeing me because I'm not going away. Because now it's about me. Now it's going to be fun. Now it's going to be about me. I already know what I look like. I already know I should have had my pro card. I know I look the way I looked on the stage.
yeah,
Um, and probably years ago, I would have said, "Oh, if this." Um, but now it's more that no, I'm not going to go away like that. I'm not a quitter, and I'm not a loser. And maybe they don't want to give me a pro card, but I'm just going to keep coming back looking better. And then who's going to look bad? You know, maybe it's not a good opinion to have, but someone's going to look pretty bad placing me where they place
yeah,
because yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be that way. A lot of people say, are you going to quit? No, no, I'm not going to quit. I'm gonna keep coming back. They'll get tired of seeing me eventually.
yeah. So we got some well comments. So what do you think about next year's competitions?
So I'm looking at stepping out of into a different federation also. I'm going to look for a pro qualifier show, not local. I don't do local shows. I'm looking somewhere where, Florida, somewhere where I want a vacation. take a good week afterwards. But I also am looking at a different federation just to see what there is out there. I know there's non-tested shows, there's tested shows. Obviously, I'm not going natural, but so yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah. Got, hey, KLA, Monica Johnson, you look phenomenal. Here, good to see you all. Then he says, I believe in you, Monica Johnson. You have drive. You can get that card. I know you can. Yeah, I mean, you have a good mindset of trying to getting what you want to do. Did you always have that? Like, is that like a from the military? Like, just strong minded?
Yeah, stubborn,
Yeah.
strong-minded. Yeah. I think once I stopped drinking and had faith in myself, um, of course, of course, whenever you're doing something bad and you have that little voice in the back of your head that makes you not so sure about yourself. But once I got rid of that and started doing something more productive with my life, yeah, the military probably has a lot to do with that.
Mm,
Um,
yeah, that's good. Yeah. Like what was you doing like in a you don't have to answer it like in the Navy. Like, was it confidential or?
no, I worked in a prison. I'm a correctional specialist.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, we're
That
cutting out
that kind of
again.
remind me of Dirty Dozen. It got cut off. I'm
You there?
sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
You, you, yeah, yeah. That it kind of remind me of the Dirty Dozen. I don't know if you've seen that movie
Yeah,
with
I
the
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's
yeah, I
good.
don't have glamorous jobs. I worked in a slaughter plant with the USDA after the military to obtain the the 20-year working for the federal. So I did 10 in the Navy and then 10 with the USDA. So not
That's.
glamorous jobs at all.
I mean, it's a job. You know,
Yeah,
it's a
very
job.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have like you ever ran to with prisoners that gave you a hard time?
Yeah. They they have nothing to do but sit there and watch you
No.
and dissect you and figure you out. Um, I was actually the first female guard in the military prison in Japan, in Yokosuka Naval Base. So I was put in the back with the main population of males to wander through their bed racks at night, making sure everyone was asleep. And I always thought, this is probably not a real safe environment for me to be in. Um, but they needed me back there if we had one female that was in incarceration. So besides that, I transported prisoners stateside to California for
Mm.
court trial, whatever. So that it was a real interesting job. But yeah, that yeah it's stressful. It's stressful.
Yeah, yeah. And then now you're like the you do like the beekeeping now.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So just be away from people. It's nice and
yeah,
quiet
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
But
I
real
don't know
funny,
if I
with
could do that.
yeah, it's
That's
yeah, the getting stung part is not fun, but um the more you're around the bees, you discover that they all have a pheromone. They smell a certain way. We smell a certain
mm,
way to them.
right.
Um when they're upset, the African bees smell like marijuana.
Mm,
So so when we were hauling the bees in a vehicle, I always tell my husband, I said, don't get pulled over because you're going to be in trouble once a cop gets a whiff of your vehicle because the
yeah.
whole thing smells like marijuana because of the pheromones of the bees.
Wow.
So it's pretty
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. I kind of want to piggyback on you were saying that, Rachel McLish was like one of your favorite bodybuilders. Did you
Yes.
ever watch the movies?
No, I don't think I did. I I really don't remember. I'm kind of fuzzy
Yeah.
way back then. With the
But you
drinking
can
and
always
stuff.
watch it. You can always have time to watch it.
Yeah.
She starred in a few movies. Iron Eagle 3. But I forgot the other one where I think her family died and she was like a native
Oh.
Indian or something and she wanted revenge or something like that. George know it,
Huh.
he knows like the movies that she was in.
I'll have
I
to
know,
research that.
yeah. I know she kind of stepped away. She didn't really like how she didn't like the way how bodybuilding is now, like with mostly the stuff, drug usage and all that stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
yeah, yeah. So she had like
Yeah.
I guess I would say a prejudice towards it. I'm just using that
Yeah.
word. I don't, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'll have to look that up. I don't have any TVs in my house. I removed them 8 years ago. Um,
yeah,
because I did.
that's good. I can't do
It was a lot.
that.
It was because of politics. Got to be too
Yeah.
much bullshit. And
Oh, okay.
to sit in front of a TV when you could be. I had horses. I had ostrich. So we have kind of a farm here. There's so much to do besides sit in front of the TV, and I really can't see where I'd have the time right now. If I find myself bored, I have four German shepherds, five cats, 40 chickens because I eat a lot of eggs. There's just so much to do besides watch TV. And, our phones have that on it too. But
Right.
I don't watch any, even when I vacation, even when we go to shows, the TV never comes on.
Mm.
It's just, it's just a good quality to have.
That's good. I wish I mean, I wish I could have that like a bit. At one point, I wasn't like caring too much about TV, but for some reason, I don't know what happened. It just slowly start kind of, getting used to the tube and stuff. Not really. It's the phone, really. Like you said, like because it got TV too. Like you're more. It's a lot of stuff, like a lot of politics and BS
Yeah, yeah, there is.
and yeah,
But it's a lot of people just have TV on for noise too. I
yeah,
have animals, so I don't
yeah,
need any noise than what I
yeah,
get.
yeah.
So
It depends what you watching though too. I
yeah,
try to watch current events or yeah, yeah, it's that type of stuff.
yeah,
But I do watch BS things at times. So
a lot
yeah,
of that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he was saying Ravenheart. Yeah, she was in that movie Ravenheart. That
Oh,
was
I
the
now I've
movie.
seen that. I've seen
Yeah.
that. So okay,
You have
yep, I
any
didn't know
other
it was
like
her.
yeah, you had I was asking like did you had like any other like women bodybuilders that you admired besides Rachel
No,
or
Corey Everson.
yeah,
But I don't know. It was something about Rachel McLish. Maybe I don't know what it was that I just and that shows my age. I was in high school. I was, I did a lot of sports. I did all the sports. So that was just something that I had in the back of my mind. It's not like I told people about it
yeah,
because it's just that's what's odd is that I didn't tell anybody about it. But now people say, well, what made you do that? Oh, back when I was 16 years old, and they're like, well, why now? Well, because the time was right, you know. So
when did you started like on bodybuilding? Like in your 40s or
no, I was I think 46 when I started all
okay.
this.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
in a couple years of figure doing figure, and then the figure started getting ran over by bikini,
mm,
and then the bikini were winning the figure, even with kind of bikini posing. So I'm like, oh no, I'm out of here. It was just overloading. And I didn't want that. I wanted to be bigger. But the coaches, the trainers I had were really weren't really into that. They weren't.
Mm.
They didn't push me. They didn't see me there or something. Until I got. See, I met Wendy Grack. You know who she is, maybe.
Wendy
Um,
Grack? I'm not sure.
Wendy Grack. Um, well, she's Russian. She's a very short Russian girl. She got her pro
Okay.
card 2 years ago at the North Americans. I met her. I saw her when I was with my very first trainer 9 years ago. She walked
Mm.
in just short. I said, "Oh my God, I would kill to look like that." She was just so ripped, just amazing. Well, then fast forward 6, 7 years. I saw her again at Fit Show. I think that was it was in Phoenix. Fit Games, the NPC Fit Games.
Mm.
Um, so the married couple put on that show there, and I saw her again there. Now I know I'd seen her be backstage a couple shows, and she definitely wasn't lifting anymore. She had gotten cancer quite a few
Mm.
times, and so there she was. She's back competing. I'm like, oh my God, you where have you been? How you look great, you know. So we competed against each other.
Mm.
Um, and that's when Bob Ciccarelli was the MC of the show there, and he said some nasty stuff about me when I was on stage. So I had a couple nasty things to say about him too after that to the company.
Mm.
But bypass that. Then I joined a gym there in Phoenix, and there she was again, and I asked her to be my trainer, and that is where she pushed me, and she let me go, and I said I want to lift heavy. We lifted heavy. Um, she put muscle on me. She guided me, taught me how to lift so I wouldn't hurt my shoulders. I have damaged shoulders. Just amazing, amazing trainer. Love her to death. We were such a team, and it was heartbreaking for her to see me not get my pro card when we were together through
Mm.
2 shows. And you know, it's not her place to say you should have gotten it. It's not a trainer's place to say, well, you got screwed over. I understand that, even though the whole audience thought that. But
Mm.
I thought, well, it's time that I go on my own because now I'm not competing for what they're looking for. Now I'm not going to get the big shoulders, which took the judge forever to figure out. When I asked her, okay, what do I need to work on? What do I need to come back with? It probably took a good 5 minutes for her to come up with what I needed to come back with. So it's hard for me to think if I need a bigger shoulder, then why did the girl that won had no shoulders, had no width
Mm.
to her back,
Yeah.
had no was not conditioned at all. So that's very hard, and it goes back to what you were saying. How does that not make me want to just throw in the towel? Because you do. We're all that way. Um, Shop for a car, you find a car, and then you continue just looking to see how good of a deal you got. Stop looking. Tell my husband that. Stop looking. You got one. Um, and it's that way. You look at the winners of the show, and then you put the pictures beside you and say, "What's wrong with this picture? I do have bigger shoulders." But then the winner didn't have a little waist. Didn't have the wide back. Um, didn't have the tight glutes. So that's why I went off on my own. I mean, I see Wendy. We work out together. She'll always be my trainer in my heart. But I said, I'm going to do it my way. I'm just going to lift and get as big as I can and do what I want and do it
So
now
you train
with my heart.
so you train yourself?
I do. Yeah. I've had trainers for 9 years. Got to know something.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
and I have all my own fitness equipment. I've got more than anytime fitness workout places. So it's time to utilize what I have and do it just for me, for my way.
Okay.
So
Okay. Let me see. Rolando, Gage, Monica Johnson is so right. Yeah, the TV is a controlling substance. It's a toxic these days. I don't blame her. Yeah, yeah, it is. It can be addictive. Monica Johnson is like me. I'm definitely a fan of Corey Everson, especially when she was with Lorenzo Lamas on his former
Oh
hit
yeah,
Cop Action, a Renegade back in the day. And George says, it was great to see Wendy when I was in Tampa. I think I know who you're talking about. You know, it's like a lot of them. It's a lot, and like to register, like
yeah,
it's a lot of
it,
competitors. Sometimes, you know, I
yeah.
just know them by face. The judging is subjective between each show. Do you see like bodybuilding as like a sport or like a pageant in your eyes?
Oh, a sport.
Mm,
Oh, definitely a sport. No pageant about it. Yeah, I know we can all look pretty rough at times working out. But once we're on stage, I think it's great that we can look so feminine, beautiful, and have such a beautiful body. Like just I always look at just a work of art. Um, it's hard for me to even to look at a girl in a bathing suit. That's just a thin girl in a bathing suit. It's like, wow, if you had tighter glutes and a little bit wider shoulders, you'd really look bomb. It's embedded in me. I think that is just absolutely beautiful. I by no means think maybe the WBB,
yeah,
that there's your pageant where you're wearing the gowns and all that other stuff, more or less. But it's still, physical. But no, it's a sport. It's just a sport where we want to try to keep
yeah,
femininity alive at some point.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, it's not like it's a unique sport. You know, a lot of people don't, pay attention to it. It was on TV before, but then, I think because of the drugs and stuff and the rumors of the drugs, stigma is stigmatized. Like that's the good way I could say it. You know, people don't really
Well, but
pay
it's in
attention
every
to it.
sport. It's in every sport. It's just,
Yeah, I know.
people are getting caught all the time. Baseball, football, triathletes, Tour de France, anywhere. But people have such a misconception that you're going to take steroids and you sit back and wait for the muscles to grow.
Yeah,
Well, no, you have to work your ass off. It just doesn't work that way. Um, People, is it cheating? Well, I don't think it's cheating. Um, which is pathetic. The whole thing with the Olympia, and I'm not even going to get going too much on this, is really crappy about how this whole thing that with the lady's physique, about the finger pointing and the blaming. I mean, what a shame, what a pity that has to get so ugly like that of accusing people of doing things. But that's too bad for the sport that someone does that. But people are going to do what they want to do. Um, if you have a crappy attitude about it, if social media, well, you're roid rage or this or that, go away.
mm,
If you got opinion that is not a valuable one, that go somewhere else with it, because it's just sometimes I think it's just a lot of a talk where someone's not happy with themselves, they're going to cut on somebody else anyway. Period. But
yeah,
that's the way the world is. So yeah,
yeah, yeah. I want to
good
play a
message.
video. See what's your intake on it.
I just want to
parts.
let you know that there is no space for
Now I
weakness in
was gonna
body image. If you have that weird energy where you like to create animosity towards another woman because you're in a secret competition with them, you're not going to survive in bodybuilding, because bodybuilding is such a tight knit community that the same girls that you feel like you're in competition with are actually the same girls hyping you up and supporting you backstage. Some of the nicest, sweetest, most encouraging women I met backstage at a bodybuilding show. Some of them I met while I was in line waiting to go up on stage, meaning we're in the same class, meaning we're actually in competition, theoretically. One girl even fixed my suit for me. Yes, bodybuilding is a competition and we go up on stage being compared against each other, but the real competition is you and you and you alone. Your real competition is your last package. You need to be better than your last package, not the next girl, okay?
I hear like a lot of rumors that it's catty and all that type of stuff. So that's why I played that. See
Yeah,
if it resonates with you. So
yeah.
do you so like what's your plan again for 2020 I'm
26.
2026? Yeah.
Um, Find a pro qualifier that a different one. I just kind
Okay.
of skip around. I've been, the reason I did the Pittsburgh was that Wendy got her pro card there. I had a couple friends get theirs, and I just kind of like to go somewhere different. Um,
Okay.
Try something out, different federate or different, different shows, see how they're all run.
Okay. But this is MPC?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was kind of looking for a maybe going PCA show, looking for one. I thought it was very interesting. I was watching a gal there. For the life of me, I can't think of her name now. Just
Okay.
beautiful, beautiful physique. Um, but they call it something different. They call it like trained figure, athletic figure for the way I look. Um,
Okay.
so kind of basically a UK. It's a
Yeah,
it's a
I
European
I've
show.
seen. Yeah, I've seen the PC some competitors. They're in a PCA show. Yeah, that
Yeah,
it's a UK show. Yeah, I don't
yeah.
know. Maybe you could give that a try. See where that
Just out of
leads you.
curiosity.
Yeah,
Yeah, just out
why
of
not?
curiosity. It looked interesting. The few ladies that I've talked to have great attitudes. Just want to look into it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I plan on
Would
staying NPC, getting a show here stateside.
yeah. Would you wanna train somebody in the future?
Um, I am a trainer. I am qualified, but
Okay.
I'm very strict with myself that I will not train somebody while I'm competing. I
Okay.
had a trainer once. He was competing and he was training, and I couldn't get him away from the mirror. I would have to step in front of him and the mirror
Mm,
going, hello. So I think,
mm,
yeah, I don't think that's fair to yourself. I don't think it's fair to who you train. You, you got to give yourself 100%. You can't shortchange yourself because
yeah.
you're going up there and you want to look better each time. You know, I'll look much better this next show than I did the last show, and that's my goal, just to be
Yeah.
better. So, but
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
I'm done doing that, then I'll train. But I
Mm.
really don't
Yeah, I
want to
know
train
you got to
anyone to
be
compete.
focused.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't want
I
to
know.
train
Yeah,
anyone to compete. I do not want to get involved with someone taking gear. I want them to that be their decision, not go through me for it. I just want to train to for older women to my motto kind of is to look good naked. And the ladies I tell that to, they're all for it. They're like, they've got my business card. They're just waiting. So that's my goal is to make women healthy and happy with their bodies.
yeah, that's good. That's good. Me, PCA is in the States too. from what George know.
Yeah,
George, he's insightful with these things.
yeah,
So
he needs
yeah,
to reach out and I did look for a long time and I did see some in the States, but I know the championships. Ooh, and some I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember what I read. It's
yeah.
confusing.
Yeah. What's your workout like during the week? Like how long do you stay? How long do you work out and train?
I do 45 minutes on my Stairmaster, and then I have a cold tub. I like the cold tub. Helps drop the cortisol levels. Plus, I enjoy doing it. I do that for like 10 minutes, and then I do my workout for an hour to 2 hours. Um, but it usually takes me that long because I have my dogs that are always with me when I work out here at home. So I try to get away and go to the gym where I work out at and do some quality workouts without them.
Okay. You think in the future bodybuilding gonna at least get better? Like more competitors gonna compete?
Oh, it's so hard to say. It's so hard to
Yeah.
say. I would hope, you know, we all want to push it, but then they get they get removed from the shows.
Yeah.
I watched Wendy try to do a show, and well, they didn't have bodybuilding. Oh, but they added it now at the last minute. Um, I've all the shows I go to, I have to step down in age because there's never enough. I did one show where they actually told everyone, okay, someone please enter these classes half price. We're dropping it to half price. We need more entries so we can get a pro card. Did not have enough. So I'm going to pull out of that class. I'm not going to go and compete in a class that I'm not going to have a chance of getting a pro card if there's just two girls. So I've had to drop down age groups almost every show.
Mm.
That's disheartening. I don't want to be the only one on stage. I want competition to help me make myself better.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that it will pick up. But when will it pick up, and will I be done by then? So okay.
What if you be the only one on stage and you just get your pro card? Would you be fine with that, or you feel
Well, they're
kind of
not going to give
cheated?
it. They won't give
Uh,
it to me if I'm
uh.
the only one. Um, you got to have five girls up there. Um,
But don't I hear
so
stories about like not to cut you, don't I hear stories about people getting a pro card and they're like the only one on stage?
I know of a couple that kind of accidentally got it. Um, they say the judges say, well, we're not going to give three or four pro cards to the same person, but it happens. You only need one, but I don't think that people realize that you can forfeit a pro card. You can
Yeah.
you can be on stage and you got one pro card. You got your pro card. You can actually forfeit it and give it to the person next to you so they can go on.
Yeah.
But people don't know that. Um, but yeah, I've heard of incidences where, yeah,
Yeah.
not me. It didn't happen to me.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best. Yeah. Mm. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, now I can.
Okay. No, I was saying I wish you the best. You know,
Thank you.
I hope 2026 be your lucky year. So you competing.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to bring my best look I can to stage.
Yeah. Do you have plans for like the holidays?
Um, spend it with some family. After Christmas, head down to Cabo San Lucas to bring in the new year, and then do a Colorado trip when I get back. So
Okay.
I'm also looking at Colorado for a show.
Okay. All
That's
right.
where I grew up.
Okay. How is it in Colorado? It's cold?
Cool. makes I don't know. That's a hard one because it gets too hot here. This
Uh,
state will ruin you for heat. You don't even want to drive a convertible. It's so hot.
yeah, I'm in New York City, and it's already getting cold. So
Yeah, I'm sure
yeah.
it's cold here.
Okay.
So
Well, let me leave you alone. Till we meet again. I appreciate the talk.
okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I very much appreciate it.
No problem. All right, hang
You
in
have
there.
a Merry Christmas. I will.
You too. All right.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye.